So this is in response to a post, a TikTok by a guy named Jim Has Fun Online, at Jim Has Fun Online. He has a lot of TTRPG content. I could not stitch the video for various reasons, so I'm just responding to it. It was about Old West style fantasy campaigns, and I wanted to talk about that because I've done tons of them. And there's three main approaches I've taken, three main resources I've used, and I highly recommend these to you. The first is the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. If you don't know it, do some research. Tons of stuff you can base dungeons on and base creatures on. There's a book called Wolves of the Kala. Look that up. I used the entire adventure from that. Every single book was included. I'm a big fan of the Dark Tower series. Enjoyed it very much, and I used it to create a campaign. I've actually done a couple campaigns in the Dark Tower verse, but one really big one that went on to influence the entire multiverse. I also used the Mask of the Red Death, which is a really old module, which takes Ravenloft and sets it in Earth-like plane on Earth in the 19th century. A lot of fun, lots of stuff for an Old West campaign there. Highly recommend that. Done a couple of campaigns in that one. Just a complete blast. And then finally, I've used Steam Wars by Atlantic Press, which is a steampunk inspired by Star Wars. Tons of stuff. Look through all of that. So I've used these settings and some of the characters from those campaigns, particularly the Dark Tower campaign and the first Mask of the Red Death campaign, went on to be huge figures in the games. There was a guy named Shiloh Dupuis and a guy named Galtar the Great, and they went on to transform the game completely. But more importantly, these resources, if you look them up, you read through them, you're going to get some ideas, and you're going to very easily be able to adapt some of that stuff to your Dungeons & Dragons campaign. Of course, the Mask of Red Death is a D&D setting, so that's really easy to do. But the Dark Tower, too, it just writes itself. So that's how I've done Old West campaigns in the past, and I commend those resources to you.